I use this metaphor, the jungle is neutral. It's a great book that was written during World War II about a British officer who was captured by the Japanese in Burma, or Malay, Malaysian Peninsula. He was captured twice by the Japanese. There were cobras, there were tigers, there was poison water, there were all kinds of things that made the jungle dangerous. For 5 years, he was hiding, all during the duration of the war, because he kept breaking away from the Japanese. He found mangoes, papayas, bananas, places to hide, and he asked himself, if life is a jungle, is the jungle good or bad? And the answer is yes, depending on your experience with it and how you've learned to deal with life. Life is a paradise or a jungle, depending on what you've learned. And that's why it's much better to be a tour guide than a tourist in the jungle of life. So one thing I do with all my kids, I take all my children and grandchildren all over the world. And every year I take them to the Masai Mara in the middle of the East African plain to watch the great migration of the herds. 1 million wildebeest, zebra, elephant, lion, every living creature, the great herd. If you haven't been there, you must go in the middle of East Africa and sit and watch thousands of years go round and round. The circle of the herbivores, the predators, and the balance of life. So I've been going there for 12 years with my children and grandchildren. This last year, I took all of my grandchildren, and some of them are still small, and my guide stopped the Range Rover in front of an acacia tree with 19 lions lying underneath. He stopped the Range Rover and got out and asked my grandchildren to join him for a walk on the wild side. I said, you got to be kidding. There's a big male lion there who's been watching me. He said, no, he's not interested in you. I said, maybe he didn't eat last night. He's been watching. He said he knew you were there. He's tired. He ate. I said, easy for you to say. There are 19 of them. Then I thought, maybe if my grandchildren go with him, the lions will eat them as hors d'oeuvres and maybe not be hungry to eat me. So I pushed my grandchildren ahead with him. And I stood in back. I'll protect us from the rear in case somebody comes around. He said, you're afraid. I said, of course I'm afraid. Wouldn't you be? And he said, why would I be? I've lived here all my life. I said, well, sure, but I'm new. He said, that's why you're afraid. You're afraid of the unknown. You're afraid of something you don't understand. In fact, all fear is based on the newness, the misunderstanding. I said, I feel like running. He said, go ahead. The rest of us will be safe. Because if you run, the lions like to chase you like a cat chasing a mouse. And he took my grandchildren. I could not believe it. I sat in the Range Rover watching. He took them up toward the lions, got about 12 feet away from 19 lions, and then quietly turned left and walked away. I said, wow, what a show. And then he said, you know, your problem, Dennis, your problem is you don't know anything about lions. I said, I know. They have big teeth, and they can jump 8 feet, and they weigh 800 pounds. That's what I know. He said, that's just because you have very little knowledge. And he gave me the greatest lesson that I've learned. Now I know why I'm afraid. I'm afraid because I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the training, I don't have the skills, and I don't have the experience. I'm a tourist in many aspects of my life, and so are you. So the way to overcome fear is fairly simple. You get more knowledge, you get the training, you find a mentor or role model with a proven track record of success, and you emulate and model yourself after those qualities of someone who's been there and done that well before. The greatest secret in companies is having a internal coaching and training program that deals with knowledge, training, skills, and experience.